morning, everybody. Welcome to City Hall, welcome to Council Chambers, and welcome to a meeting of the Los Angeles City Council for today, Tuesday, August 16, 2005. City Council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Meetings are open to the public, and we invite you to join us. For members of the public unable to attend council meetings, we can be viewed live on your cable station, Channel 35. We can also be viewed live via webcast from the city's homepage or heard via council phone. Colleagues, the time is nearly 10:30 now, and we have 9 members present, 1 shy of a quorum. We do expect a quorum momentarily, but this being Tuesday, the first meeting of the week, we also have scheduled our salute to the flag, as well as a special presentation by Councilmember Perry. Ms. Perry, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. All right. Why don't we have the Queen lead the salute? Okay. All right. Would you like to start? Sure. Would you introduce your name?
Good morning. It's our privilege to be here with you today. I'd like to introduce the 2005 Nisei Week Court. This is Princess Kristen Harue Hayashi, Miss Tomodachi Michelle Mieko Ito, Princess Doreen Kimi Ogata, Princess Ashley Nicole Wakayama, and Princess Kimiko Jenny Rojas.
Introduce yourself and then we'll lead the flag salute.
And my name is Stephanie Keiko Tamahiro, and I'm the 2005 Nisei Week Queen. I'd like to begin by starting off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. This weekend, as part of the 65th annual Nisei Week Festival, the historic Nisei Week Parade took place this Sunday. The parade, which I was fortunate enough to be part of, was only part of the excitement. Each year, Little Tokyo attracts people throughout our great city and country to participate in the celebration of Japanese American culture. Every single year, volunteers, even our own James Okazaki, coordinate many free-to-the-public events and activities during the 2 weekends of Nisei Week. The festivities include the 10th Annual Tofu Festival, the 7th Annual Courtyard Kids Family Festival, Sumo Tournament Exhibition, and much, much more. If you missed it this weekend, there is still time to soak in the atmosphere and fun of Nisei Week. In fact, this weekend there will be a street arts festival in Little Tokyo on San Pedro Street between 2nd and 3rd. And as part of the ongoing festivities, it has become a tradition for us to annually welcome the Nisei Week Court to Council. The Queen's Coronation Ball was held on Saturday night, where the 2005 Nisei Week Court was announced. And today I am proud to again introduce these very intelligent, very poised young women behind me, the 2005 Nisei Week Court. Let's give them a very big hand. And as our Queen was gracious enough to introduce them, I will just say very quickly, Queen Stephanie Keiko Tamahiro, First Princess Kristen Harue Hayashi, Miss Tomodachi Michelle Mieko Ito, Princess Doreen Kimi Ogata, Princess Kimiko Jenny Rojas, and Princess Ashley Nicole Wakayama. I would, before the Queen and her court presents this year's program to you, I would like to ask Queen Stephanie if she would say a few words about the importance of Nisei Week.
Thank you, Jan. First off, I would like to thank all of you for allowing us to be here. It's an honor. And at this time, I'd like to share with you the importance of the Nisei Week Festival and its foundation. The festival is celebrating its 65th year, and this festival is so special to us because it allows us to celebrate and share our Japanese American culture and history with the city of Los Angeles. The city has
Reconocer la
been
cultura
just
de Japón,
revitalizing
conocer Los
the
Ángeles.
Little Tokyo area,
Los
has
Ángeles está
been
revitalizando el
continuing
área
to
de Little
grow.
Tokyo,
There's
y
much
está
construction
creciendo.
going on, thanks to much of the gracious efforts of Councilwoman Jan Perry. She is a definite and strong supporter of the Little Tokyo community, and we are very thankful to her. And at this time, we would like to present this Nisei Week booklet to her, which has been personalized just for you. Thank you very much. We owe a lot to her.
We recognize Mr. Labange for a few words.
Ms. Perry, thank you, and I would like to ask all the Queen and the Princesses, just as you introduce, tell everybody what great universities you're either going to or completed, because this is very unique.
I'm a graduate from the University of California, San Diego, and I majored in human development.
Great.
I have graduated from the California State Polytechnic University of Pomona with a communication major.
I have just recently graduated from the University of California, Irvine with a Bachelor's of Science in Math.
Hi, I'm Kimiko Rojas. I'm currently attending West Los Angeles College. Hello, I'm currently attending Mount San Antonio College, working towards a degree in nursing.
I'm currently attending the California State University of Fullerton with a major in business administration. Thank you.
Well, that's very good. Ms. Perry, I wanted to recognize them. And I also want to recognize Frances Yamamoto. Frances, stand up.
Hashimoto.
Give her a big hand, the big coordinator for many, many years. This great group of young people represented our city in May, along with 90 other Angelinos, of which I got to head the delegation to our sister city of Nagoya for their Sister City Festival, which was most impressive event that was held in Nagoya for multiple days. But these young ladies did a wonderful job representing our city and showed great care and concern as they represent all of Los Angeles. So thank you very much. Good to see you all again. And arigato.
Y arigato, gracias.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. As you can see, not only are these young women poised and elegant, articulate and intelligent, they are devoted to community service and are very highly educated and much more well-spoken than I am. So I am proud to stand here with the 2005 court of Nisei Week and hope that you will join us this week and definitely join us Sunday afternoon at the Ondo closing ceremonies where I will be dancing in the streets with Frances and James and the Nisei court and some of your favorite friends. So please join us. Should have a good time. Thank you so much. And if you would, I think the Queen and her court would like to take the programs to each of the council members.
Thank you. And congratulations to the entire court. Let me recognize Mr. Parks for an introduction.
Señor Parks,
Mr.
una
President,
presentación. Señor
I'd like to
presidente, me
ask
gustaría
the Inglewood Coalition to
pedirle
come
a la
up to the
coalición de
podium.
Inglewood que pase al micrófono.
Many of you are
Muchos
certainly
de
acquainted
ustedes
with Mr.
están
Danny
familiarizados con el
Tabor,
señor Danny Tabor.
and he's going to be the lead
Él va a ser
spokesperson along
la
with
persona que hará una
Delia
presentación
Council.
junto con
But they're
Delia
here,
Council, pero
had
ellos están aquí.
a news conference in front of City
Tuvo
Hall
una
to talk about
conferencia
some
de
very
prensa
important issues dealing with
aquí en el
youth
Ayuntamiento
and
para hablar acerca
violence.
de
And
asuntos
as
muy
you know,
importantes
as
que tratan con
our
violencia y con jóvenes. Como muchos de ustedes saben,
communities
nuestras
border each other from
comunidades
South Los Angeles to
de sur
Inglewood,
Los Ángeles a
we're
Inglewood
often
tienen los
dealing with
límites de las
identical
ciudades y
problems, whether it's
muchas veces
education,
tratamos
whether
con
it's dealing
problemas
with youth,
idénticos,
and they would like to
ya
make
sea
some comments to
educación
the
con
council.
jóvenes. Le gustaría hacer comentarios a
Danny,
los
would you kick it
concejales.
off?
Danny,
Thank you very
por
much,
favor,
Councilman
inicie.
Parks. We're going to
Muchas
start
gracias,
with the young
concejal
people
Parks.
making their
Empezaremos con los
presentation, and then
jóvenes
we'll
para hacer su
summarize, if
presentación
that's
y
all right.
luego le daremos un breve
Esteemed council
sumario.
members and
Estimados
Mr. Chair,
concejales,
good
señor
morning. My
presidente, muy
name is
buenos días.
Alex
Mi nombre es
Leiva.
Alex
I'm
Leiva.
a 17-year-old.
Tengo 17 años de edad.
I'm a 17-year-old peer educator of Inglewood Coalition for Drug and Violence Prevention. It is time for you to
Es
listen
momento
to the
que
youth of
escuchen
our
a los
community.
jóvenes de nuestra
First,
comunidad.
it is
Primero,
important you
es muy
provide more
importante
money
que
to
den más
organizations to
dinero a
offer
organizaciones
low-income
que
community teens
ofrecen
more
a
jobs.
jóvenes
Give us
de
an opportunity to
la
work for
comunidad
our
que nos
money
den más
rather
trabajo,
than
una
to
oportunidad para
earn
trabajar
it the
por su
wrong
dinero
way.
en vez de ganarlo de manera
And
ilegal.
is maybe the most
Y
important
quizás
thing.
esto es
We
algo
need
más
you to
importante
provide
que
youth
necesitamos
safety
que
at all
ustedes
times
nos
and in
den
all
protección todo
areas,
el tiempo en
especially
todas
after
áreas,
school while
especialmente
teens are
cuando
making
salimos
their
de la
way
escuela,
home.
cuando los jóvenes
Also
van rumbo a
enforce
casa.
existing
También
truancy
a que se
laws.
cumplan
That
leyes
means
de
more police officers
ir
out
a la
during
escuela,
before
que
and
haya
after
más
school.
agentes de policía antes y después de la escuela.
Hello, I'm
Hola.
Daniel K. Tabor. Hello, I'm Daniel
Hola.
Tabor, peer educator.
Daniel Tabor, soy educador de...
We're also demanding places after school from 3 to 6 that have tutoring programs so children can get help with their homework. These places should have computers so that they can do their reports for school.
tareas y
There
computadoras para que se
there
ayuden
should
con las
also be
tareas.
more
También debería haber
recreational
más
parks that have
parques
organized activities like
recreacionales,
sports and
actividades
arts,
organizadas
teen centers, and
como
drop-in
deportes,
youth
artes,
centers
centros
in
de
low-income
jóvenes,
communities to keep the
comunidades de
kids
bajos
out of
recursos
trouble
para que los
and off
jóvenes
the
estén
streets.
fuera de
Finally,
problemas
we're
y
demanding
fuera
on
de las
behalf
calles.
of all
Después
youth
estamos
that you
exigiendo de
increase
parte
the
de los
funding
jóvenes
for
que
violence prevention
aumenten
and gang interventions
los fondos
programs.
para prevención en contra de violencia y de prevención de pandillas.
My name is Delia Council. I'm
Delia
Executive
Council, soy
Director of
directora
Englewood's
ejecutiva
Coalition
de
for Drug and Violence Prevention. And I just want to turn your attention to the yellow packets that you all have. They contain fact sheets about our youth laid out in a way that you may have not seen them before. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but do you know that Los Angeles Unified School District loses 40,000 young people a year dropping out? What happens to these young people? We know that hundreds will be shot. Some will be killed on the streets of Los Angeles. Most of them will be unemployed. At least half of them will go to juvenile hall and then make their way into adult prisons. This is why we're here today. The city of Los Angeles spends $501 million for what is not a safety net for our most needy children. And we need to look at it. We are going to the LA City Council, the LA Board of Supervisors, the cities of Inglewood and Compton, and but you are the elephant in the middle. So unless you act, our children will not have the safety net and they will continue to fall. So we are asking you to please take us seriously and please look and listen to what we're saying. Thank you.
Finally, my name is Daniel Tabor, Councilman Parks and indicated I've been before this body most recently with the Community Benefit Agreement with LAX. But I'm here today as part of a coalition. I think it's important that I share with you that joining us today are members of representatives of Community Youth and Sports and Arts Foundation, Pathways to Your Future, the Sentinella Youth Services, the Asian American Drug Abuse Program, the San Fernando Valley Partnership, Pomona Youth Commission. What in essence these young people and others are asking is that the Los Angeles City Council adopt a youth master plan, a master plan to be implemented fully by the City Council, to be included as part of the city's general plan in the future, a master plan that will take your body directing city departments to come together much as you do in times of emergency as a red team, to sit and figure out how they can work together and work with community organizations to respond to this call of urgency by young people in the city of Los Angeles and throughout the cities of the county of Los Angeles. We're reminded rather specifically in today's Los Angeles Times, this chart produced by the Times, Deadly Patterns. 291 homicides, gang-related today, as of this date this year. 64 due to conflict, 59 undetermined, 34 narcotics, 30 domestic and family, 24 robbery, 13 child abuse. The largest percentage of which are black and brown youngsters, African American, Latino youngsters in the communities of Los Angeles, Inglewood, Compton. We don't see, as Councilman Parks indicated, any boundaries, yellow lines in the streets, don't stop gangs, don't stop bullets. We started here because you're, without question, the most important elected body in this area, in our community. We want to work with you, work with your city departments as community-based organizations to address this problem, to create a youth master plan. We thank you for your time today. We thank Councilman Parks for creating this opportunity for us to present.
Mr. Garcetti?
Thank you, Mr. Parks. I just want to say a couple words before you leave as well. About 5 years ago, during the convention, the Democratic Convention here, there was a youth summit, a youth convention that was held here. Every LAUSD school sent students. It was held at Occidental College, and there was a youth platform that was drafted by the students of Los Angeles for the students of Los Angeles, for the youth. And I think that our Commission on Youth, Children, and Families have done a wonderful job, but I also know that youth sometimes feel like family issues and children issues are not necessarily youth issues. And pulling out that youth component to make sure that it is strong and as vibrant and as independent as possible is something that we heard time and time again. One of the things that came out of that were two suggestions. One was to establish a youth commission in the city of Los Angeles, as we've seen in San Francisco and other places. Maybe the county could do that so it could be countywide. And we actually have a motion here in council that I introduced about 3 or 4 years ago, but hasn't necessarily gone anywhere, to establish a youth commission specifically that could perhaps do this sort of a plan. Second that came out of that was they said we should have a youth platform here in Los Angeles convention each year of youth that say what the issues are. They know it better. They have led so many struggles here for civil rights, so many struggles for educational equity. It has been from the young people, not with the young people, actually from them, and we, their elders, have followed them. So know that you have my full support any way that I can assist in that. As chair of our Housing, Community, and Economic Development Committee, I'd be happy to assist. Thank you.
Mr. Rosendahl.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Parks, I want to thank you for bringing the community before us. I'd like to tell you, as the big elephant in the area here, you're looking at one elephant that truly believes it's our responsibility to be engaged with you on this. I'm the new chair of the Neighborhoods and Education Committee of the City Council, and I'd like to take that opportunity as chair of that committee to work with you. I think it's outrageous that young people, A, are dropping out of school, and B, finding themselves in the criminal justice system rather than in the job system or an education system. Lives are being destroyed, and we have to do something about it. It's the fabric of our great country, are our young people. And what I consider the jeopardization of it all right now is unconscionable. And I would like to meet with you in September, when my committee has its first set of meetings, and see if we can find ways in which we can take my colleague Eric Garcetti's mandates that he worked on and bring them back into the play, so that the next time you come here, we'll partner with you and making a difference. Thank you, Ms. Parks, for bringing them.
And as just a final note, I'll add part of the foundation for doing what you've asked for, calling the departments together to work together to maximize what resources we have at the city and what partnership opportunities there are. We have taken the first step of asking our Commission on the Children, Youth, and their Families to assess all the programs. You have, right, the budget. So now that we know what the numbers are, now we get to make those decisions. So we're laying the foundation, the groundwork for what the next step is.
Councilman, if I may, they've done an excellent job, the Commission on Youth and Families, in putting the numbers together. There was one glaring omission that I hope the council will notice and ask the department to respond, and that was the numbers for the Los Angeles Police Department were not included in this year's report. And it's important that they be a part of whatever is generated, because they become a frontline soldier, to borrow a term that we use as one of the organizations present. When it comes to dealing with the problems, we'd like them to be on the front end and be more preventive, and we think that they have a role in that as well.
Okay. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Cardenas, Garcetti, Gruel, Han, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Sine, Padilla, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The council is now in session. First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Smith moves. Mr. Parks seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Hahn moves and Mr. Cardenas seconds.
Mr. President, this is a time for comments from the public on items not on council's agenda.
And I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council. Yes, we do. We can call forward Sky Anderson for general public comment for today's meeting. Actually, why don't we give the folks at the podium a minute to clear out. Colleagues, let's go through, dispense with the consent calendar. Madam Clerk.
First items on the agenda are items noticed for public hearing. Items 1 through 8 are protest against proposed street lighting districts. And the recommendation for council action is to open the hearing and continue the hearing and ordinances to September 13th.
Okay, members, items 1 through 8 now before us, and I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these items. Public hearings are open and without objection continued to September 13th. Next item.
Next item is item number 9. And that's also a public hearing item, and I believe there's a card on that.
If you have a card on item 9, we'll call that special. Next items.
Next items are items for which public hearings have been held, items 10 through 17. On item number 10, there are 2 reports on the file. However, they don't conflict. HCED just has an additional recommendation.
Members, items 10 through 17 now before us, and these items have had public hearings in committee. A motion would be required to reopen the public hearings. There's no such motion. Request for specials, beginning with Mr. Rosendahl. 10, Called special by Mr. Rosendahl. Mr. Labange.
Could you continue item number 11 to tomorrow?
Any objection, colleagues, to continuing item number 11? Seeing none, item 11 is continued for one day. Mr. Cardenas?
Item number 16, if we can continue till tomorrow.
Any objection to continuing item 16? Seeing none, that too is continued. Any other specials or continuances, colleagues, on items 10 through 17? Seeing none on the balance of the items, Madam Clerk, please open the roll, please close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Next items are items for which public hearings have not been held, items 18 through 31. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Numbers 18 through 31 now before us. I do have cards on items 20 and 29. We'll call those special. On the balance of the items, we do not have speaker cards. Public hearings are open and closed. We do have an amending motion, item 21, that's been circulated. I believe we can consider that without objection. Mr. Smith?
Item number 18 be continued to September 6th, requested the department.
Okay, seeing no objection, item 18 is continued. Any other specials? Any other specials? Seeing none on the balance of the items, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those items are approved, including item 21 as amended. And colleagues, let me announce at this time that this being the last week of council before our summer recess, all matters approved shall go forthwith. Next items, please.
Next items on the supplemental agenda, items 32 and 33 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Colleagues, items 32 and 33 now before us. Public hearings have been held on these items in committee. A motion from the floor will be required to reopen the public hearing. We do have an amending motion, item 33, and again, I believe we can accept that without objection. Request for specials, Mr. Parks?
Not a special, but just would move the budget and finance report on 33.
Okay, on 33, along with the amending motion. Any other specials? Seeing none, let's open the roll on items 32 and 33. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next item.
Next item is item number 34, and that's an item for which public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration, and there is an amending motion also on that item.
Okay, and we do have a card on item 34. Let's call that special as well. Next item.
That would take council back to the items called special and also public comment.
Let's go back to general public comment for today's meeting. The council calls forward Sky Anderson.
Del público, empezando con Sky Anderson.
My name is Sky Anderson. I'm a community activist. I had no idea I'd be speaking before you people today. First, I want to say how much I admire Mr. Garcetta from Hollywood District. I met with him Saturday afternoon. He's always very nice. Mr. Rosendahl used to be in charge of Delphi Cable, and they set up a $35 fee for each public access producer, and at least Media One did, and I talked to Mr. Rosendahl about it 5 minutes. He says, that's unfair, and he took it off. So I deeply respect Mr. Rosendahl. I'm here with an organization called Save Our Kids. This morning's paper, there was an article about a 15-year-old boy who was murdered because he tried to defend a handicapped teenager, murdered cold-blooded by gang members. Here it is. Teen shot defending disabled friend is in the Daily News. I've been watching the city council for years, and you haven't really done anything about gangs and them killing our children, so I prepared this flyer. Enemy of the People City Council. They are killing our children because they won't do enough to stop gangs and drugs in Los Angeles. Save our kids from gangs, drugs, and prison, and our phone number. I'm going to distribute this to each city. I'm going to distribute this to each city council person's office, and I can pick each city council person I want individually and get people to pick you, asking you to stop killing our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes general public comment for today's meeting. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Next item is President's item number 9, and that was called special for a card from the public.
And the council calls forward Ms. Sylvia Lynn Hawkins on item number 9.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, President Alex Ponda. Number 9, we must stay alert of these illegal companies, Sprint, Nico, and SBC, making phones that hit out laser power that can harm the body and mind. By hitting number 2 on these phones that are here and sent from overseas. We are already aware of these robot bodies walking among us. Telephone operators seen on TV with iron earpieces operation inside of their ears. We do not want robots to take over our employment department. We must hire human beings to work and not robots in music factories, limousine drivers, businesses, pilots, anchors, or dispatch telephone operators.
Ms.
Thank
Hawkins,
you very
you
much.
want to speak on item 29 also? You have a card for item 29. Why don't you go ahead and speak on item 29 as well?
Also on item number 29, we must say no. The person that are convicted of these shootouts is owners and managers of these gas companies, Chevron, Arco, Mobiles, that are cheating on one another with credit cards, ATM machines, and bank account money, and was never in the account. This is why prices are high in gas, food, cars, rent, and clothes. As we search for the suspect to arrest, we must be aware that the owner of these businesses are dead. Therefore, no money is needed as we watch these businesses go out of business and are demolished. Again, there is shootouts on the freeway.
Thank you.
But we must be aware who is dead.
Thank you very much. This concludes public comment for both items 9 and 29. Members of the council wishing to speak on item number 9? On item number 9. Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, that is an ordinance and carries over for a second reading. Let's now also open the roll on item 29. 29. Let's close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Item number 10 was called special by Councilmember Rosendahl.
Mr. Rosendahl. Item number 10.
Asunto 10.
For me, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Padilla. Councilmember Rosendahl was nice enough to call it special for me. I stepped out of the room today. This is an item, colleagues, that we have before us that's a real great public-private partnership, and we have wonderful representatives today from Chrysalis, and looks like Central City Association and others. We have lots of contracts that we provide in the city, and we've been encouraging particularly homeless providers and others and job training to have them be part of the solution and to be able to have a contract with the City of Los Angeles. So this item before you is really an innovative public-private partnership. It's a low-cost way for the City of Los Angeles to help people move away from chronic unemployment and into economic self-sufficiency. Companies will still have to compete for those contracts, but those helping the hardest to employ will have a level playing field. It's a win-win, in my perspective, here for the City of Los Angeles. The city gets top-notch services, and we can help provide jobs for the chronically homeless. At a time when the city has limited resources for social programs, as we see at the federal level, the dollars dwindling, this is our opportunity, an efficient way to use our dollars and to make sure that we do level the playing field. So I want to thank Chrysalis and all the people who made this possible. This is going to be a great addition to the City of Los Angeles and our contracting procedures. So I would ask for an aye vote. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Gruhl. Other members of the council wishing to speak on item number 10? Mr. Rosendahl.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could I ask the Chrysalis folks to come up for a second, please?
Good morning.
Good morning. Would you tell us a little about
Díganos
your
un poco acerca
organization?
de su organización.
Sure. My name is Adlai Wertman. I'm the president and CEO of Chrysalis. We are an agency in our 21st year in Los Angeles with offices downtown LA, Pacoima, and in Santa Monica. And we help about 2,700 homeless people this year change their lives and become self-sufficient through employment opportunities. And we do that through a job readiness program, but a big part of our program is a transitional job program, which we hire people and use them under contract, which is currently mostly to the private sector, to offer critical first transitional jobs to people that they can get after very long-term unemployment and homelessness, and from there move on to get a job in the private sector.
And the 2,700 people, they're now off of the homeless situation and into their own home.
We have a 93% success rate at getting people employed, at which the next step is jobs, housing, and they become tax-paying, long-term, great citizens of our city.
I might say, Mr. President, that they've interacted with the Chamber of Commerce in the Pacific Palisades and have found jobs there, and the community has been tremendously pleased. The partnering with the private sector is key. Is there any private sector people here with you today?
Yes, we have the Central City Association and the
Please have
Downtown
them
Center Business.
explain their relationship to Chrysalis.
I think many of you know that we started the Downtown Center Business Improvement District. It began in January 1998. And this is BIDs, or where property owners tax themselves to provide services in many cases that the city cannot provide for a variety of reasons. In our case, and in the case of many of the BIDs downtown, we have an actual crew of people we put out on the streets to clean and to paint out graffiti so that we create a safe and clean environment in our neighborhood. It's a neighborhood improvement project, really. And I'm very pleased to report, Councilmember Rosendahl, and it's very nice to say that to you for the first time, that we have employed over 300 people from Chrysalis, newly emerging from homelessness, at a cost of about $5 to $6 million from the property owners themselves. And would it have been cheaper to do something else? Probably. Would it have been easier to do something else? But this was a commitment that the property owners in the center of downtown made to give back to their community, to deal with the issues of homelessness and these folks that have a harder time being employed. And as a result of our efforts in the beginning of 1998, I would like you to know that the 5 other major business improvement districts in downtown LA are now all using Chrysalis services, and therefore employing probably over 1,000 people. Isn't that true, Adlai? Every year. So that is our part, and that is our partnership. We have a great deal of confidence in this, and for the city now to be in a position to also provide a preference so that these folks have a better chance of being employed and lifting themselves up out of poverty and homelessness, we think is a win-win for everyone.
I want to applaud the Central City Association for stepping up to the plate, providing the partnership, and I want to applaud Chrysalis for the incredible work they're doing with the homeless, and I obviously want to congratulate my colleagues here, Mr. Garcetti and Ms. Gruhl, for putting this before us today with their forward thinking. This is part of the solution of dealing with homelessness. Thank you.
Gracias.
Councilmember Padilla.
We have another speaker, one of our clients, Oscar Lee, who has been through the program, to just spend a couple of minutes telling you how he's been helped.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Oscar Lee. I'm a case manager with SR Rural Housing Corporation. Also a client of Chrysalis, and after 11 years of homelessness and 9 years of unemployment directly related to substance abuse, I walked through the doors of Chrysalis, and Chrysalis gave me my first opportunity to work and to get out on the streets and, as the lady spoke before, sweep and paint graffiti and et cetera, et cetera. But they also provided case management, and the case management took time with me and encouraged me to go back to school. So as as a result of going through Chrysalis, I'm now a fifth semester student at LA City College. I received my drug and alcohol certificate in June. Me and my wife, I've gotten married since being affiliated with Chrysalis. We rent a two-bedroom home in the city of Hawthorne. I'm no longer homeless. I'm no longer, unable to participate in life and to be able to work, to be able to go to school, to be able to dream as any good American should. So I'm actually a representative of what Chrysalis can do. It's really up to the individual client. But if you have the motivation, you have the desire, Chrysalis is a place and an avenue in which you can also re-enter life and, as their mission statement says, change lives through jobs. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next, we have Councilmember Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I rise also in support of the item that's before us, and for a number of reasons. I think this is the best example of what the city of LA can do to fulfill the spirit of teaching men how to fish, not just giving them a fish to satisfy hunger for a day. The issue of homelessness, I know, is something you're very passionate about, Mr. Rosendahl. It's something that not just Los Angeles, but our entire country has struggled with. And as much as we can do to provide shelter, to provide meals, to provide clothing, there's very few efforts and organizations that are going above and beyond that to try to put people back on the right track. And I think Chrysalis is the best example of what is going on in those regards. And I say that not as a council member for downtown, because my district is nowhere near downtown. I say that not as a representative of a district that's near the coast, because we know that there's a lot of homeless who gravitate towards the coast and the better weather there, but a representative of the district in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, where unbeknownst to a lot of people, we too have homeless out there. And it's probably surprised a lot of people in my district that a lot of the commercial revitalization, especially along the Van Nuys Boulevard corridor, with streetscape programs and ongoing maintenance, graffiti removal programs and ongoing maintenance, and cleanup activity and ongoing cleanup is not being provided by the private sector. Some, yes, is due to volunteerism, but 99% of it is due to Chrysalis. And folks who are only one step away from homelessness, one step away from not only seeking shelter and food, but physical and mental health. But it was the best 10 minutes I've spent in the last 6 months was as I was pulling into my Pacoima district office just a few weeks ago, and as I was getting out of my car, hanging up the phone call, sipping my cup of coffee that morning, being approached by Lamont, who was driving that sidewalk cleaner machine that morning, and to see the pride in his face because he had an active application with the city of Los Angeles to come work for street services. And I do believe, if I'm told correctly, he has been hired. So it's wonderful to support organizations like this. We talk a lot about investing in our local economy and contracting with local businesses and hiring locally. I know Mr. Reyes, if he was here, would also talk about youth that are at risk and seeking job opportunities with the city or contracts with the city as ways to keep them out of trouble. But this too should not be overlooked. And in addition to giving those points of preference to organizations like Chrysalis, there will be a day when significant numbers of our city crews are also coming from this native population of Angelinos. So I'm proud to cast my aye vote today.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Gould. It's Councilmember Gould, then Garcetti, then Mr. Rosendahl.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to add and appreciate your comments, Mr. Rosendahl and Mr. Padilla, who's a great program in his district. But I met John Dillon. We chatted about this a long time ago when I worked for Tom Bradley, when John Dillon, at the age of, I think it was 21, created Chrysalis in Skid Row. Mayor Bradley we were opening up an emergency shelter, and he started walking down the street, much to the chagrin of the LAPD, who was covering him that day. And he wanted to go up and see the site where this young man had called him and said he was having trouble with building and safety and wasn't able to open his facility. And so the mayor walked down there, and from there, Chrysalis became the wonderful organization that it is today, and really is changing lives, as this young gentleman spoke about, and he came to committee. I called you young. I feel young too, right? We're still young. But that how it has changed lives. And so I want to thank you for being here today as you were at committee, and really being inspirational to all of us. But that's really what this program is all about. So I'm so pleased that the council has seen fit to make this a project and an issue where we can really help the homeless in the best way possible, which is creating economic opportunity for them and jobs that's going to help them get off the streets. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilmember Garcetti.
Thank you. I think all that needs to be said has been said, but it hasn't been said by everybody. So. No, in all seriousness, the one thing I wanted to thank Chrysalis for and the work that we're doing here, I think this really, colleagues, puts forward a model of how we can, in a lot of our small local business contracts, Ms. Gruhl and I were just talking as chairs of the Small Local Business Advisory Committee, Candido, others who have participated in that committee, and each one of us has an appointee on that committee, really is looking at our entire contracting process. We have a full package of reforms that's coming forward. This hasn't been a piece of it. Maybe that can be added to it as well, so that we can look at really the most at risk, the most sometimes downtrodden in the city, who are really lifting themselves up and getting those skills to be able to make sure that we have that incentive for all of our employers that do the $1 billion in contracting with the city of LA that's done each year, have that incentive to actually reach out to those in need. So this is a great blueprint. Obviously, I'm in full support of it. I want to thank Chrysalis and other partners who have been able to put these sorts of relationships together. And I would encourage everybody here to think about whether that might be something appropriate to go beyond this individual motion today and the entire contracting system that we do in the city, because we have such power as one of the biggest employers, one of the biggest economic entities here in Los Angeles, and this would really set the stage, not just for other governmental entities, but for private industry too.
Thank you. Now we have Councilmember Perry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I also wanted to say a few words about the importance of a program like this. It can serve as a template and an example of how we can help people who fight so hard to recover their lives, make a pathway back to mainstream of society. And this is our ability to formalize this in language, which can be applied in so many situations with all of the economic development opportunities that are taking place throughout the city, and including the area that I represent downtown in South Los Angeles. And I know that as development moves further south on Figueroa, Mr. Parks and I will be looking jointly at opportunities to bring in people who are unskilled but struggling to get back on their feet. And so I appreciate what this means in the greater sense, because we won't have to continue the debate over and over with every single project in the city that has citywide impacts. So I am looking forward to the implementation of this.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Rosendahl.
I just want to say that I walk around with this coffee cup since I became a council member, and I take it to every meeting I go to, and if the camera could catch it, it says Homeboy Industries. And this is a cup I got from Father Greg Boyle a while back, about 10 years ago, actually. And his program is similar to Chrysalis, that it takes young people and gives them meaningful things to do. And I am just so honored to be on a council where two council members have put a motion together, and where the whole body and the president with his comments clearly believe that we need to find job opportunities for the homeless. And Mr. Garcetti, if you're going to move forward in a creative way to come up with another strategy that continues to make a dent in homelessness, I want to be 100% there for you, and I'll always carry this cup while I'm on the council to remind me and everybody else that jobs is a key to getting homelessness as something to be of the past. And I just want to congratulate my colleagues for this.
Thank you, Mr. Rosendahl. Other members wishing to speak? Seeing none, let's open the roll on this item. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Item 10 is approved. The ordinance carries over for a second reading. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, is item number 20, and that was called special for card from the public.
Item number 20 now before us. And we call forward Mr. Jim
Llamaremos
McQuiston.
al señor Jim McQuiston al micrófono.
Jim McQuiston, East Hollywood Community Association. As you know, I'm a great booster of the City Council. I think you've all done a really great job. But in this particular case, practically every city department has dropped the ball. It turns out that half of the street is owned by the city, according to the state. And the fellow who wants to close it off is getting something for nothing. But in the process, for the last 2 years, he's been desecrating our area, attracting homeless, looking like a pig pen, putting up illegal fences, blocking the handicap ramps of the city sidewalks, parking so that you can't use the sidewalk extensions, but you have to walk in the street. We don't think this is something that he should be rewarded about. We've tried to work with this fellow, but he hasn't responded. And we think the city can use that area as a parking lot, not only the city, but the surrounds, the city property that the city owns that he's blocking off. We have someone who wants to either buy or lease it from the city. And we just think it's an all unfortunate deal that we're attempting to go ahead on this. And we would suggest very strongly that you put this over, think about it again, and go for the money some other way.
Thank you. This concludes public comment on item number 20. Members of the council wishing to speak on item number 20? Seeing none, let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Next item is item number 34, called special for card from the public, and there is an amending motion that has been distributed.
Item 34 now before us, and the council calls forward Joyce Dillard.
Joyce Hillary, pase.
Yes, this is about pocket parks. It's about a bequest from Bing Trust giving to the city money to purchase pocket parks. The issues at hand here is it's against the charter. Our city forefathers guaranteed us the right to own our public lands as citizens. This is a lease and a lease back. This has been expedited through, I think intentionally, so the public really can't review it. Documents that should be attached to this report and easy to access on the internet are not, which includes all the ground leases and other things I issued in the written comments. But what's more important is the use of nonprofits. This nonprofit, Los Angeles Neighborhood Land Trust, was paid $495,000 to look for parks, and then you want to turn around and give them parks? They're using public services, public safety issues, there's water quality issues. Pocket parks mean no bathrooms. That's what it means. What can that do? That can generate a proposition or request for water quality, and the property owner now has a tax burden. So this deal looks like it's all on the shoulders of the property owner and the taxpayer with no public benefit. Nonprofits generate no economic income. The city is leaning on nonprofits and abusing the fiduciary trust to manage both land and assets of the city. The mitigated negative declarations in this do not cover issues such as methane studies or soil contamination for one of the parks on Beverly Boulevard. Now that's very serious in the city considering what happened to Belmont, but it's being brushed off. Any older land in older areas need to be looked at for cultural landscape designations. If you're going to have historic preservation overlay zones, why aren't you looking at the other National Historic Act allotments? So in essence, none of the community plans out of the planning department covers an allowance for this. The city charter doesn't cover an allowance for this. Our forefathers through a 1901 Parks Department report doesn't cover it, but it's being presented as a good deal.
Thank you.
I think you are really pulling the wool over the eyes of the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes public comment for item
Gracias. Se termina el
34.
comentario público para asunto
Members of the
34.
council
Miembros del
wishing to
Consejo
speak on
Municipal,
item
presentación sobre
34,
el 34.
and colleagues, I'll also
Colegas
call your
también.
attention to the amending
Que
motion that's been
llama la atención a
circulated.
la
Mr.
moción
Labange.
Yeah, there's an amending
Enmienda que ha
motion.
sido
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been circulated. I think it stands on
distribuida.
its own.
Gracias,
This is
creo
very important and
Establo
good
por sí mismo
positive
es algo muy
improvement.
importante
Thinking had a
y
big foundation for their
mejoramiento
interest in Los
positivo.
Angeles and its young people.
Okay. Without objection, we'll
Sin
consider the
oposición,
item as
asunto
amended.
Tuvo
There's no
34
further
se queda
speakers. Let's
considerado con
open
esa
the
enmienda
roll,
ya que no hay presentadores
close the
adicionales.
roll,
Ahora se
and
votó, cierre
tabulate
ese
the
voto y
vote.
tabule ese
10
conteo.
ayes.
10 sís.
That is approved.
Eso ha sido
And
aprobado.
again,
De
colleagues,
nuevo,
all matters
colegas, todos
approved
los asuntos
today
que han sido
are
aprobados
going
el día de hoy serán
forthwith.
enviados al alcalde.
Madam Clerk, next
Secretario
item.
municipal, el siguiente
Council
asunto.
has motions for posting and referral,
Motion shall be posted and referred.
and that clears the desk, Mr. President.
Okay, Madam Clerk, how do we look on attendance for tomorrow and Friday?
¿Cuántos concejales están
There should be
presentes mañana y
10
el viernes?
council members
10
present
concejales
both days.
los dos días.
Excused for tomorrow are
Mañana,
Garcetti, Reyes, and Weiss,
y
and
Weiss.
for Friday,
Y para el
Garcetti,
viernes,
Smith,
Garcetti,
and Weiss.
Smith y Weiss quieren estar
We
ausentes.
hear that, colleagues? Bear
Colegas,
quorum
escucharon,
tomorrow
va a ser
and
un
Friday.
quórum
So
total
we
con
need
10.
everybody
Mañana
to
y
be
el otro
here. We
necesitamos
need
que
everybody to
todos
be here
estén
on
aquí,
time
que estén aquí
to
a
conduct city
tiempo para
business this
llevar a
week
cabo
before the
asuntos
recess.
de
I
la
know it
ciudad
becomes a busy
de
time for a lot of us. If we can make that extra
la
effort,
semana
we
antes
can
del descanso.
be
Es muy
effective and
para
efficient
todos
with our
podemos ser más
meetings and
eficientes
carry on with the
y
rest of our
eficaces con nuestra reunión
responsibilities.
y cargar con las
Any
responsabilidades.
announcements today?
La portada se los
Any
anunciaría. ¿Algún
announcements?
anuncio?
No one's got an
No, ya que
announcement?
nadie tiene nada que
Come on,
anunciar,
Tony,
yo voy a
you're
anunciar,
a head
Tony.
of commerce. I
Tú eres el
had a
jefe
great
del
family
Comité de Comercio,
weekend.
tuve una
Dennis,
gran
you
fin de
took a little
semana con
time too, and
ese
we
fin de
went
semana
out
con
to
familia, Dennis.
Ensenada on a
Fuimos a
cruise ship, came
Ensenada
back
en un crucero,
early at 6
regresamos
a.m.
a las 6 de la
yesterday,
mañana ayer.
took the shuttle
Tomamos el
from the Queen Mary
shuttle
in Long Beach
del
and took
puerto
the
de Queen
blue
Mary
line
en
up
Long
to
Beach y
the red line and to your district, Mr.
el
Garcetti, and
metro
for $4
ligero a tu
took a
distrito
cab
por
home,
$4
and
y tomamos un taxi a
it was a
casa.
nice ride and a good
Fue un
trip.
lindo
And
viaje,
the
muy
interesting
buen
thing that my
viaje.
wife said,
Lo
Bridget, was there was
interesante
no
que mi
cell
esposa dijo es
service
que no
on the ship, so she really
había
was pleased that
autoservicio.
I was not on a telephone.
no había servicio en
God bless
celular
Thomas
en el
Edison.
barco. Entonces mi esposa está muy contenta que no puede hablar por teléfono.
Are there
Dios
announcements,
bendiga a
colleagues?
Thomas Edison. Gracias.
If not, do we have adjourning
Anuncio?
motions
¿No?
today?
Mociones para levantar la
Do we
sesión.
have adjourning motions today?
Mociones, pónganse de pie.
Please rise for adjourning
Recordando
motions.
a personas que han fallecido.
Mr. Labange.
As someone gave public testimony early this morning, public comment period, tragically a 15-year-old young man in North Hollywood area, who was a student at Options for Youth in Burbank, went to help a friend of his who was disabled off of Tierra Street near Lankershim in the San Fernando Valley. When confronted by gang members, one gang member shot and killed this young 15-year-old who was helping an older young boy who was disabled. Los Angeles Police Department and Detective Coffey at North Hollywood Division was extremely disappointed, obviously in this and all crimes, but this particular crime where a young 15-year-old went to help a disabled friend of his in an alley. His name is Samuel Salas. He's survived by his parents. It's a tragic event. The police department working very hard to get the perpetrators of the crime. This is the same area where the police have concentrated on other gangs to try to eradicate them, but some coward took a shot at a 15-year-old, 10 against 2, plus a gun. So I ask that we adjourn in memory of Samuel Salas, who absolutely was taken from this earth long before his time, and the tragedy around he and his family and the shock to his friend who he went to help. Samuel Salas, as we adjourn in his memory.
All members. Other tributes? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned.
LA City View Channel 35. Your city, your channel.